Welcome back to the Entrepreneurial Edge. I'm Chris Bishop. Now, for show updates, follow us on Twitter at EntrepEdge or drop us an email with your thoughts. I'd love to hear them on entrep@abn360.com. Now, still in the studio with me, I have Johanna Mukoki, the MD and co-founder of Travel with Flair. So you started out with your green couch and your tiny office, and as you said, not that much capital, and the banks didn't want to know you because you had no collateral, you were just starting out. Why is it they only want to know you after? But anyway, so how did you start growing from that point where there was just the three of you?
It had to, obviously, we had to do a lot of presentations, and most of our business is obviously gotten through by pitching. And until we found the chemistry and the mix of pitching and putting together documents, you know, you'd go and pitch for hundreds of business and nothing comes through, and we sit back and say, okay, but we still need to pay people at the end of the month. What we're going to do? And I think it all, through learning, we found out that, you know, one needs to be able to tighten the way that you are read on paper, the profile that you have, etc. And we had to invest more money in the PR side of things. And once you get your first business, it's like anything in life, you know, it's like a tap opening. And then you feel that energy, and I think it comes more from your confidence as well, that says, hey, you know, this is actually happening and the wheel is turning. Then it all snowballs from there. But let me tell you, the difference now is that me as owner and founder is very much involved in the business. I show up 24/7, I'm on my floor, and that, with a lot of my competitors ask, why is she so successful? Well, successful because of the fact that I am there 24/7. We make spot decisions on the floor and away we are. You have to be able to continue to put in that hard work. The sleepless nights never stop.
Well, tell us about the hour and the day of that first deal. I bet you can remember it.
Oh, don't you worry. I remember, and I still have that account actually still today.
Really?
South African Post Office.
So, just tell us, come on.
We went, we pitched, we waited, and then we got that first call that said, you know, we must come in and negotiate fees. I said, well, does it mean we have it? Does that mean we still have to sharpen our pencil? And then we got there, we were awarded the account, and we had to talk fees, and we had to implement an in-house. Obviously, there's a difference. We have our offices, and we obviously have in-houses, which is small travel agencies within the corporations that we service. And it was the most beautiful thing. You know, you can be able to forecast and be able to realize, I'll be able to pay my expenses at the end of the month. Hey, there'll be a little something for me as well to be able to be paid. And it was beautiful. And let me tell you, from then on, because we realized that this format works, you know, so you duplicate it for all the other pitches that you go to, and it was the most beautiful thing. Till today, you know, me and my partners, we've always said, yay, let's go celebrate. But we yet to get to that celebration because the next account comes and the next account comes, and we have to go in. Implementation process always takes long because you have to do it right the first time around. And 16 years on, we yet to celebrate. But I think because of the fact that we're working in something that we love and gives us energy to be able to work up and do every day, I guess that for me is part of the celebration.
What about the knockbacks though? I mean, I spoke to a man one day, a very rich man, who has a lot of tenders, and everyone thinks that he pitches and that's it. And I asked him what was the ratio, and he reckons 13 knockbacks to one success. I mean, in your business, what is it? Oh,
quite right. I mean, you'd probably find that in this current financial year, I think we probably have done about 120 tenders, and of those, we probably have gotten only about 32. So, you know what I'm saying? To be able to, it is a lot.
Meetings.
You know, you have to spread the word and see if you are able to hit. And that's the thing. When you get that regret letter, it doesn't mean that you need to go into your cocoon. You need to be able to go back to those people and say, okay, thank you for that regret letter. If anybody has ever said thank you for something that is not positive, which parts did I not fulfill? So that you are able then on the next one to be able to ensure that you lift up your socks then on those parts.
What's the hardest knockback you've ever had, the hardest one to take?
I guess the hardest one to be able to take is, especially because we have both corporate and government business, is to be able to do your best. Your consultants come in and give the best service. and then it takes people 90, 120 days to be able to pay you, and you sitting there thinking, I need to pay my staff, you need to pay me. You know what I'm saying? But I have ways and means. You know, I'll go in even with baked cakes, and I'll sit there and I say, all right, guys, unless you press paid, I am so staying here. And that method seems to work. But, you know, the travel business is very high turnover and very small margins. So you need to be able to understand that model. And obviously, having an accounting background, one is able to work the numbers that they come out positive on the other side.
Have you ever taken things really badly? I mean, are you sort of sometimes in a dark room on your own kind of a person, or not? I mean, yourself, when you've had a bad day in general, then you've got a big knockback on it.
You know, I think, and even people, you know, whether it's friends or those that I work with, they always think that I have this bouncy energy. And I think it's because I know that there's things in life that one cannot be able to change. I guess and I'm always positive. Let me tell you, even in the sight of the most difficult of situations, I say, listen, this is an opportunity for us to be able to always view challenges as an opportunity. And I never say that problems. I don't have that word in my vocabulary. It's a challenge, because a challenge can be able to be challenged, and you'll be able to find an opportunity there, and you find a way forward. But I think for me then, my most difficult moment, I guess, in life, and my husband, when early in our marriage, he asked me, what is the most difficult thing that I think could ever break my heart? And I think at that time both my parents were alive, and I thought, you know, losing my parents, because they were my best friends. They were always around me. You know, when all else fails around the world, I know those two I can go to, and I'll get true wisdom, and people will give me the honest opinion and answer that I really need. And I said, you know, obviously losing my parents, and I obviously sitting here, both my parents have rested, and they're my angels now, and I think that was the most difficult time I've ever had in my entire life. And you know, it feels like somebody has ripped your heart out and your center has moved. But you know, I've been able to make peace with it. You remember the good times, and hopefully that carries you. But it's a sharp knife.
Did you ever want to just walk away for a year or two and just retreat? And
I wanted to be able to take time out, and I did for 3 months, especially when my mom passed away. And it was a difficult time as well, because she actually called me just minutes before she passed. Went to a hospital, they gave her incorrect medication. She told me, listen, they've given me incorrect medication, I'm not going to be able to make it. Make sure you do this and that for your brothers and sisters, and make sure you give this to whom. I mean, you know, right on the phone. And an hour and a half later, she was not on the phone anymore. And I was speaking like that to her. So, you know, very difficult times. And I think having gone there, and you feel robbed. You know, there's a point that happens in your mind where it switches off. And I took 3 months out, and thank God it's my business, because then, you know, I could be able to take that time out, because I really have competent people around me, and it helped me just to refocus. And I went back in, and I was fully energized. And I'm not a person who remembers the bad. I always focus on the good, because I can't change the bad. It's happened.
Just to talk a little bit more about your business. Sadly to say, though, a lot of the companies, you said you got your first client still with you after all these years, but sad to say, a lot of the companies, though, no longer exist, probably, that you did business with. Surely you must have had tough times with this recession.
The recession has been tough on a lot of us who are travel agents, because, you know, you're in the service industry. And I guess as corporations realize that they have less rents to be able to go by, they think that they can be able to internalize that service and provide it for themselves. And we've had clients as well that have gone off our books to be able to try and do their travel in-house. But at the end of the day, you know, yes, maybe traveling Joburg to Cape Town, you know, your PA can do it. But once you have to take a flight out of South Africa into Europe or the US, you have to leave it to the professionals, because you could be booked about 2-3 hours away from where your meeting is supposed to be. So we've had people that obviously have had to tighten belts and have left. We've had people that have to downgrade their travel policies to say everybody, including the CEO, will travel economy class. So but you have to be able to find ways and means to be able to find back your revenue. And us as Travel with Flair, we introduced obviously the online booking tool that then helped us to be able to put the travel into our clients' hands, but we as a travel agent still do the fulfillment for them on the other side. So you balance the scale probably at half the price.
And your turnover in your first year back in 1996, how does it compare to your turnover now in 2012? Can you compare the two? Roughly, you must know.
Certainly cannot compare the two. I mean, there's a couple of zeros there. I think, I don't know, maybe first year must have done maybe about 100,000. You know what I'm saying? For
not
12
bad in
months.
1996, but carry on.
No. In 97, you must know.
Yeah.
96, you still, you know, you're paying out of your pocket to all the people. You're still pitching. Nothing is coming on. You know, the sun started coming about a year into that business, and you know, the overheads are here, and you're back stealing and borrowing from everywhere to be able to calm the waters. And in 2012, we just finished our audit now, and we're nearly doing about 2 billion.
Not bad at all.
But that's turnover.
And the future? Are you going to expand?
The future, definitely. We do have one of our wings called TWF Global, where we have partners around Africa. I know you know that travel in Africa can be very exciting. I'll put it nicely as that. So you need people on the ground to be able to assist you with that. And we have international partners as well, through an organization called TSI, Travel Solutions International. And we obviously have then partners in Europe, the US, Japan, name it, we have it. You have to be able to expand the brand. And we do, with the TSI guys, we do more the international RFPs with them. So it really is beautiful. But obviously, our industry is very dynamic, and they're growing more and more into the online booking tools. The IT part is getting more, it's growing more than obviously them looking for a consultant and calling them. So we want to own that IT space.
And finally, very, very quickly, of all the world's entrepreneurs, who's your hero?
I guess Richard, and I've met him.
Richard Branson.
Yeah,
Let's
crazy guy. Crazy guy. And I love his energy. Nothing seems difficult. He's playful, much like what I am. Take nothing seriously and everything will come to you.
The kindred spirit. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you for the last half an hour. Thank you very much, Johanna Mukoki, the MD and founder of Travel with Flair. May you send many more people across the continent in the future. That's all we have time for, I'm afraid, on this week's show. But be sure to join us same time next week. Until then, from myself, Chris Bishop, it's goodbye.